Hello, it's April from April's Home, and today I'm here with my weekly grocery haul, my $100 grocery haul, and we will start out with what I got at Azure Standard this week. This is a relatively small order for Azure Standard. I usually place larger orders, but of course right now I'm trying to stick with my $100 a week budget. The nice thing about this order is that I also applied $25 of Azure Cash. You earn Azure Cash with each order, and I've just been letting it build up. So I had $25 to apply to this order, which brought down the price to really help me stick within my budget. I will also be at the end sharing a few of the items that I picked up at Safeway as well, some things that I needed for family dinner, and still maintained my $100 for the week. So here I picked up some frozen organic veggies. I ordered a 3-pack of peas and carrots. I use these in things like shepherd's pie and different casseroles that I make. So I like to have those on hand. And then I also got 3 bags of the organic tricolored peppers. I love frozen bell peppers. I use them in so many different recipes. I was running pretty low, so I decided to order 3 of these. Also ordered some nice fresh celery here for different recipes. And 2 3-pound bags of sweet potatoes. I still have a few left from the last 20-pound box that I ordered, so I didn't need a full 20-pound box. I thought I would just go with 6 pounds here of these beautiful sweet potatoes. I ordered our favorite Alexandra A2A2 milk, as well as a little bit of a treat here, the A2A2 Alexandra chocolate milk, which is really delicious. You can see all that chocolate in the bottom, which I just shake up and incorporate into the milk. It's really delicious. And some wonderful cheese here. This is the Baby Bella Mushroom Creamy Jack Cheese by Organic Sierra Nevada. So some yummy cheese for this week. For the pantry, picked up a jar of organic jalapeno nacho slices, the mild version. Also for the pantry, some tomato paste. I love the glass jars of tomato paste. It allows me to open it up and use part of that jar instead of the whole jar if I don't need the whole jar. And the fact that it's in a glass jar with a twist-off cap makes it really easy to store in my refrigerator. I'm also running low on my apple cider vinegar, so I got a little jar of that. And I thought I would stock up on some cane sugar here, some organic cane sugar. This is just a 5-pound bag. And I got some beautiful yellow onions. Use these in cooking all the time. And then one non-food item that I'll actually be subtracting from the food total, but I thought I would go ahead and include it in this haul anyway, since I do love to buy my Epsom salt from Azure Standard. So I got another 5-pound bag of that. And then lastly, these are puffed carrots, diced and dehydrated. I have been loving these. I bought this, a bag this size a while back. I keep it in a container, and every time I've been making soup lately, I go and get my jar and I sprinkle in some extra carrots. It's so nice to have these on hand. And of course, if I didn't have any fresh carrots on hand, having the dehydrated carrots on hand is really nice if you need that for any of your recipes or soups or things like that. So a few things for the pantry here, and some nice things for the freezer, as well as some fresh dairy and produce. So this total order here was $78 because, again, I had that $25 off coupon. I'm also subtracting the $9.98 that I spent on the Epsom salt, so that leaves us with a little bit extra. I need to go to my local grocery store and grab some fresh hamburger for my family dinner night coming up this weekend. We are having porcupine meatballs, and I like to work with nice fresh hamburger. That way I don't have to worry about thawing it out. It's really hard to make meatballs if your meat is not all the way thawed out. So I'm going to go ahead and buy probably 4 pounds of hamburger, and I will go ahead and show you any other items that I pick up from Safeway as well. Here is the rest of my grocery haul. These are the items that I picked up from Safeway, just a few items that I needed for cooking throughout the rest of this week. We are having, like I said, porcupine meatballs this weekend for our big family dinner. That's a meal I make once a week for the whole family. It serves 11 people. So, of course, I needed a lot of hamburger here. This hamburger was on such a good price. Each one of these packs was only, I think, just shy of $10. This one might have been $10.06. So that was a really wonderful bargain. Probably won't use all of this, so I'll have a little bit of that meat to reserve for other meals. I needed eggs. Luckily, my store finally had some. My chickens are only laying a couple of eggs a week each, so it's just not enough to keep up with our egg needs, so I was glad to get an 18 pack of that. It'll be really nice in the spring when they're back to laying full force and I don't have to buy as many eggs in the store. Also needed some bread and some hamburger buns for the pulled pork that I made. I made a big pulled pork, and that will feed me and my husband for the next couple of days for sure. And then I realized I was out of margarine. I don't use margarine very often. Most of the time I use butter. I use butter in all of my cooking and things like that. But when I'm making grilled cheese sandwiches, I love the ease of being able to spread the margarine onto the bread. Sometimes the butter just tears apart the bread, so it's a little bit easier when I'm making grilled sandwiches to have margarine on hand. So all the rest of these items were $35 and I believe 23 cents, which is pretty good. The Azure Standard order was $75 minus the 10 for the Epsom salt because I'm not including non-food items in my grocery total. So this week I spent $65 at Azure Standard and $35 at Safeway, for a grand total of $100. So this week I stuck with my budget once again. I also did a little bit more work on my meal plan. So I'll go ahead and show you that now. If you've seen my grocery hauls and meal planning in the past, you know that I use this smaller size spiral notebook to write out my meal plan, keep track of it. As you can see, sometimes I have to move things around, switch things up based on if I'm having company or not. On Tuesday, for example, I switched out the cornbread chili bake for a layered nacho instead because I had company over, so we needed to make that a little bit bigger. As you can see here this weekend, I'm doing the pulled pork roast here in a couple of different varieties, and I probably won't be making the vegetable soup this week because we'll still have leftovers of the pork. So I'd like to eat that up before Sunday, and Sunday is the porcupine balls. And then next week we've got more of our meals to go here. But instead of doing this type of meal plan this year, I wanted to do something a little bit more creative. So I've been working on this little page here. I had fun kind of making this little meal plan up. I just used some colored pencils in a book here and then some watercolors to create sort of a patchwork design of the month with a bunch of different wintry colors. And I thought that next I would go ahead and label this and add in the meals. That way I have it for the future if I'm looking to plan future Januaries to see what I ate in previous January. So I will show you more next week when I do my grocery haul, how I've gone ahead and turned this into my meal plan for the month. I'm not 100% sure if I'll use this original copy or if I will take a copy of this so that if I mess up writing the meals in, that I don't ruin the original work and I can try again. So we'll see how I do that. I'm just kind of playing around, having fun, being a little bit more creative with my meal planning this year. It was actually very relaxing just to watercolor in all of these pretty squares. Some of the watercolors I used had sort of an opalescent finish to them, and it was just really fun and relaxing to be a little bit creative with the meal planning this month. So that's something I definitely want to incorporate. Hopefully, as soon as I'm done with January, I can jump onto February, so it will be done closer to the beginning of February rather than mid-January here. That is okay, though. It was super fun to do, so I would definitely encourage anyone to be creative with their meal planning if that's something that they enjoy doing. Otherwise, I also still really love just keeping it simple with your spiral notebook, because ultimately any way that you meal plan is a good thing. It definitely saves your family money to pre-plan what you're going to eat and have a little bit more of a strategy when you're going into the grocery store. So that is this week's grocery haul from Azure Standard and Safeway. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at all of the groceries I got for $100 this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.